Today we're going to be making jollof rice. Everybody loves jollof rice, I think. My recipe I got from the internet and as well some tips from my mother. To make this, I use some red bell peppers, onion, garlic. I place it on my baking tray. You can add rosemary leaves if you have it. Then I also add oil, just a couple spoons of that on it, and I place in my oven. I usually go between 120 and 160 degrees in the oven. The next step is to boil your beef or your chicken, and the reason I do this is to get the juice or the stock out of it. I know you can use stock cubes and all that, but I just prefer to do mine this way. Spice it according to your taste. I use Maggi, thyme, curry, and then I boil for a couple hours. This is how I want my peppers to be looking like once they're out of the oven. It does take a couple hours, and this whole process requires patience. I blend it up and also add tomato paste. I use the brand Derica, as you can see, and I add scotch bonnet to make it a bit spicy. At this point, my beef and the stock I need is also ready, so I drain that out. Then I go on to fry my onions until they are crispy. I add in my blended pepper mix and also fry this for about 20 minutes, sometimes longer, until I feel it's right. I go on to put in my beef stock, bay leaves, Maggi, and salt to taste, and I cook this for another 20 minutes. Also add a little bit of water, which I'll explain why later on. Then I go on to parboil my rice. Basically means I use hot water to wash it and cold water to rinse it out. I go on to add the washed rice into the pepper mix, and as you can see, there's still a bit of water that goes into it, which is why I don't add in a lot of water at the beginning. One of the tips my mom gave to me is you need steam to cook jollof rice, not water. So to do this, I cover the pot lid with tin foil, and basically this traps the heat in the pot. Once the rice is in the pot, I usually open from time to time, not a lot, just to see what's going on and mix the rice. And also remember to tidy up as you go along and just create a clean space for yourself. If at any point you do feel the rice is looking a bit too dry, you can put in a little bit of hot water or butter just to create a bit more moisture, something for the steam to work with. You don't want to put in a lot of water if you don't want your rice looking soggy. Usually your rice is ready to serve once it swells up in the pot and obviously soft to eat.